Tragic disappearance and presumed death of an 11-year-old Manatee County girl who was homeschooled has a national organization calling for changes in laws which regulate homeschool programs. ABC Action News investigator Adam Walser spoke with a member of that group about what she believes would help protect other children from abuse.
All of us who have grown up in homeschooling have seen these stories.
When a young child's body turned up in a freezer less than 3 miles from Catherine Brightbill's home, Brightbill, who is the legislative policy analyst for the nonprofit Coalition for Responsible Home Education, decided to speak out about what can happen under Florida's existing homeschool laws.
All of us have seen educational neglect. All of us have seen child abuse, and it's time for it to stop.
Before the frozen body was found, no one had reported seeing 11-year-old Janiyah Thomas for more than a year.
There's no reason any child should be missing for a year or even go missing for a month.
But that's possible under Florida's homeschool law, which allows convicted child abusers, sex offenders, and even illiterate parents to homeschool children, as long as certain reports are submitted and records are maintained. Records show Janiyah's mother, Keshana Thomas, had been the subject of 12 prior Child Protective Services reports, 11 of which were made before she submitted an application to homeschool Janiyah in August of 2013.
No, a child who has that many CPS visits should not be homeschooled. They should be in public school where they're in contact with mandatory reporters.
Mandatory reporters are people like teachers, counselors, doctors, or clergy who are required by law to report signs or suspicions of abuse. Manatee County Schools sent Keshana Thomas a letter in September of 2014 when she failed to submit a required annual report. They got no response. They sent a second letter in January of this year, giving her 3 days to respond. At that point, school officials say Keshana Thomas contacted them and said Janiyah had moved out of state.
They didn't follow up to see where she was enrolled, anything. They just dropped it at that point.
Manatee County Schools officials tell the I-Team no follow-up is required under state law. In fact, they say that would be especially burdensome since hundreds of new students routinely enroll and depart every year. Florida is not the only place abuse has been reported involving homeschool students. The bodies of 13-year-old Stoney Blair and 9-year-old Stephen Berry, who were homeschooled by their mother, Mitchell Blair, were found in a freezer in her Detroit apartment in March. Blair admitted forcing Stephen to drink window cleaner, pouring scalding water on his genitals, and beating him. She also admitted starving Stoney after repeatedly punching and kicking her. Much of the abuse occurred as her youngest son watched.
My son knew he wasn't going to tell because he was happy that I killed them.
In Florida, more than 77,000 children are homeschooled. While the overwhelming majority receive good educations from loving instructors, the Coalition for Responsible Home Education is calling on legislators to make it harder for parents who have been repeatedly investigated for abuse or neglect to homeschool children.
It's really way too easy for the kids to fall through the cracks because the loopholes are very big.
I'm I-Team investigator Adam Walser, taking action for you.